What's up, basement dwellers? Welcome back to this week's episode of the Jersey Fanatics. We have not been gone. We've been here this entire time. It's all an illusion. We haven't missed 50 games. I'm Chris the Dace Man and Dace. He's Erik Berezzo.
Hey, what's going on?
And we are back from hiatus. We did a little restructuring at BPP after the Game-a-thon. Kind of collect ourselves. Yours truly had to go on the road for work. And now I'm back. So here we are to talk the Philadelphia Phillies, who are currently second place in the National League East. They currently own a wild card spot. We're 60 games into the season.
It is 100% your fault that we've missed 60 games. You've been gone for that long.
You're not wrong. I spent a good 3 weeks, and as we're recording, they're about to lose to the Marlins.
We are back, better than ever, and they are losing again.
Yeah. So lots happened. I guess we'll start with the topical news. Castellanos got sat for tonight's Marlins game as we're recording this because of a inappropriate comment. Let's speculate. Did he tell Topper to go fuck himself? Did he tell Topper, are you fucking kidding me that you sent out this kid that has more defensive errors than I did to replace me for a defense upgrade? What do you think he said?
I think he said that you suck at your job. How about you learn how to manage the bullpen before you try and manage defense? So yeah, we're Philly fans, and we bitch and moan when our managers and coaches don't hold the players accountable. But now we're bitching and moaning because our manager held him accountable. But he's one of the good players, and at this point in time, you need all your best players on the field, especially one that hasn't missed a game in 236 games. That's a hell of a record, and you ruined it because you got a little butthurt about something that was said that you can't say or can't repeat again for the fans. Come on, dude. What do you say? Your shoes don't match? Come on.
He called him Joe Girardi. Yo, Girardi, fuck off. I don't know why you're pulling me off.
It's got to be some stupid shit, and it's absolutely ridiculous that one of the best players on the team right now is sitting on the bench for hurt feelings.
Yep, and they're down by 5 runs. Not that he would have made those up, but
the one play he probably would have caught. Did you see that? Max Kepler, basically,
no.
They said they lost it in the lights. It hit him directly in the chest.
Well, because they benched Casty, I didn't watch at a protest. I have it on now. It just ended. So that was fun. I don't know. To your point, I wouldn't say he's the most consistent. Well, he's been consistent. I don't think he's been terrible this season. He's not the 309 batter we thought we were getting when we signed him. He hasn't been, but he has been consistent since that Philadelphia freshman slump.
Yeah, and he's been exactly not what you hoped for, but kind of like what he's been.
Yeah,
like majority of the time, he hasn't been exactly what you just said. He hasn't been that freshman slump. He hasn't nobody has called for him to be traded anymore. That has all gone out the window. Nobody has called for his benching except for Topper. But it seems like he's been one of the catalysts to help this team, and you kind of need that right now because your pitching is not the best. Mm-hmm. So you need to have the best offense out there right now.
You're consistently hearing complaints about how we have to upgrade the outfield, and he has been the centerpiece of the outfield since our right fielder that we signed for 11 years decided to start playing first base. And keeps telling everybody, they need me to, if they were to get a first baseman, I'd move back. Go ahead. Ask him when he comes back from the wrist injury, since Odo Kemp's doing pretty well. And see if he has that optimistic, I'll move back to right field attitude now.
Yeah, exactly. It's
honestly,
you're pissing off a major piece.
Yeah, and a guy you signed that said, hey, you're going to play left field. And you're going to platoon with Schwarber. That was the whole deal that was made with them. And then he got here, and the right fielder hasn't fucking played right field since.
Yeah. 100%.
I've always taken issue. I know Bryce is Philly, but I have always taken issue that we have signed this right fielder who really has just cock blocked first base, which makes it very difficult to get a power hitter. And he's not a power hitter as like he used to be. Like you think about your first baseman in most teams, they're your sluggers and not great defensive players. So you can like hide them defensively at first of like, hey, we're gonna throw this at you. Don't let it hit you in the face, just catch it. And you have that with people like, well, Reese got screwed. Like if Harper never moved to first, I highly doubt Reese would have left.
Oh, absolutely not.
You have no flexibility with JT, no flexibility with Schwarber, because you don't want to take Bryce out of your lineup.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. It's a major, not problem, but it's a major hindrance to what your manager can actually do if he was even like capable of thinking outside the box on anything. Like he's strictly everything has to be in a box, and if it's one part that's missing, the whole entire thing blows up.
Well, that's why I kind of feel like I'm gonna. My guess is what he said was probably something directed at Rojas. I feel like if he said something to Topper, Topper would have just like let it roll off. He doesn't seem like the guy that gets pissed off somebody calls him out on something because he gets called out all the time and just goes, is what it is.
Yeah.
I have a feeling Cassie probably made a comment that was probably derogative towards Rojas, who's a young guy that if basically you shit on their ability, it's not going to instill confidence that a vet doesn't think you're good, and then you're going to go out there and you're not going to be good because now you're in your head. And I feel like that would warrant Topper benching someone more so than somebody telling Topper to go fuck himself.
Like you're probably right on that.
I feel like he probably shit on the outfield. Like, hey, I'm the best fucking piece out there, and you're bullying me.
Yeah. Yep. And it's been proven. Like when Rojas goes in there, he's no longer the defensive mastermind that he was. Not like even the beginning of last year. Like just it's been gone for a while now.
Well, that was the whole hype of him. Like, hey, if he's batting ninth, but I still get his defense, put him in there.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we saw where his defense wasn't really making up for how he batted at ninth because he was trying to bat better. Like, it's a weird trade-off he did.
Yeah, I think last year he ended up like they're like, oh, he's coming back with 15 pounds of muscle. He's never looked in better shape. He's going to be phenomenal defensively. He's hitting more, and then all of a sudden he started to hit more, but like it went from like a 185 batting average to like a 215. So you went up by 30 points. But his defense went down drastically.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like a great trade-off that you were getting. It was like, what the fuck? Like, why are we nonstop just trotting these people out, and we won't go out and get these like amazing at least hitters? Like you could have went out and got the Luis Roberts. You could have did everything for him. You could have went out and got Rooker, you could have done all this stuff.
Yeah.
And you chose to run it back with the same outfield, even though you knew that it was a problem.
Yeah. And really, you just traded off Kepler for what's his face? Hayes, right? Was it Hayes?
Yeah.
So like
Hayes has been semi-good this year, but now he's starting to be on the injured list again.
Yeah, and Kepler's not bad, but like Kepler in left field and then a decent centerpiece would be nice. That's the problem. Like you're going without there with two average bats in the outfield, regardless. Between the combo of Kepler, Rojas, and Marsh, that trio, and even you throw Weston in there sometimes. Like to your point, that you had Roberts out there, Bellinger was on the move, and you had flexibility with him playing first. Not that Bryce is going to fucking move. The Juan Soto sweepstakes, but that was never really realistic given his dollar. There was a lot of outfield options in this offseason that we just kind of went, Yeah, Max Kepler seems like a good pickup, and he is, but he's not the piece. He's a
No,
nice bench piece or a steady left fielder.
and then you had like the Orioles basically saying, "Come and grab Cedric Mullins, come and grab this person,
Hmm.
please take them off our hands." And then you had Oakland with Rooker, and like you had all of these pieces being floated about, and basically teams begging you to come grab them, and you're like, you know what? We have to hold on to these minor league prospects too much. We can't go all in. Like, then what the hell's the point in paying Bryce Harper for 11 years if you're not going to do anything? Paying Trey Turner for 13 years if you're not going to do anything? Like, you have to go balls to the wall at least once,
Yeah,
and you haven't really done that.
and do you really need 7 starters?
No.
Like you had a prime opportunity to. The problem is now we've got these guys that are good on paper that were running deep into the season, starting pitching wise. That they're not going to be as valuable as they were, like the hypothetical value that they have at the beginning of the year,
Yeah.
because you see what they did throughout the year. Um, it's just one last note on the Casty thing before we move on. Do you think he made an example out of Casty because there's a lot of chatter about the inmates running the asylum in a way? Because if you think about it, we're shitting on the fact that Bryce took first. You sign him as a right fielder. He's he's played what 2 full seasons for you out of the 7 years he's played so far.
Yeah.
Um, he's only done right field 2 of those years, but they were also not full seasons. Um, he would have been completely out had he not been the designated hitter rule didn't come into the National League the one year. Uh, Turner statistically is an awful fucking shortstop. So why do we keep playing with him there when like Stott can go to shortstop and then like Aiden Miller can come up in second? You could go find a second baseman
Yeah.
type thing. And then the fact that like Schwarber, at least for his first 2 years, was the leadoff guy, and it really felt like Schwarber was making that call. Like it feels like these stars, and unfortunately Casty, I guess, being number 4 on that list, were calling the shots, and Ken Topper just like, nah, you know what, fuck you, you sit. Like, do you think that was like something that straw broke the camel's back with Topper?
I can't imagine that that could be a major thing, but it really could, because a lot of people have said that Topper basically is on the hot seat.
As he should
And
be.
yeah, and what do you do when potentially it could come out that what you said is that he could have been ripping apart Johan Rojas going in the field and having more errors than him, or whatever the hell his stats are. But like, so he could have said something, and you're right. He probably, like, that could have came out. He was like, let me jump ahead of it, and I'm gonna sit your ass if this is how you're gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
You try, and so you could be right on that, but
It just feels like I'll give him credit. I am very happy of what he's done with the batting lineup this year compared to the last few years. I mean, my biggest sticking point against Kyle Schwarber was leadoff. Like, if you're a power hitter, if you're one of the better hitters on the team, why are you leading off with nobody in front of you? Now, I don't know I haven't checked his RBI count this year versus what it was this time last year. I don't know if it's better. I would hope it is, because he has been hitting better. He has been cranking out more home runs, and he has been somewhere between 2, 3, or 4, given if
yeah,
there's no injuries. But like, I do applaud Topper on that. Let's talk a little bit about his lineups. He's actually put Speed in the fucking leadoff spot with either Stott or Turner. I know Stott recently dropped because he's been having woes, but how do you feel about his lineup changes?
yeah. I think the lineup change is exactly what we've been calling for. So I think that's really the only good thing that he's truly done. And then he realized his mistake when he ended up putting Stott up there, and he saw that he was having a rough week or 2 weeks, whatever it was. He dropped him in the batting lineup, gave him a couple days off. Like, so he definitely, it could go back to the other thing I was saying, that he could definitely feel the heat on his seat, and he could be like, you know what, I got to do something to be able to change course, or else this is going to fall apart fast. And the only good thing is Trey Turner has been hitting amazing. His defense sucks, like you said, but
Mm-hmm.
his offense has been I wouldn't say on fire, but he's like batting I think it was like
309.
320 or something last time I checked.
Yeah,
Like
he's
it
above
was
300.
yeah, it was pretty damn high, and considering that freshman slump that the Phillies like to get, like it's or new Phillies get, yeah, he's 308.
Nice.
So,
But
but everyone else sucks. Wow.
yeah,
Except for
well, I mean everybody's kind of average, I would say. Like
yeah,
they're
Mo-
floating between 250 and 275, I think for the most part, except for like the Max Keplers, the Brandon Marshes. The weird thing is a lot of them I would say their average right now is not reflective of how they've been the last couple weeks.
yeah,
Because Marsh, Bohm, Kepler have all turned it around average wise. They start they got the Schwarber start that we bitched about every
yep.
year, and now they're making up for it. Um, and I think hitting wise we're getting consistent. But you hit the nail on the head earlier in our conversation. Pitching. I don't think there's been consistent pitching from anyone. Like,
No, it's been all over the place. Like you get a good outing out of Wheeler, then all of a sudden, next outing he's done, and then he was out for 2 weeks because of the baby, and
mm-hmm.
then Nola all of a sudden had a fake injury that turned into something more serious that we didn't even think about. Like he broke a rib from pitching. Like I never even would imagine that was a thing possible. Taiwan Walker, as we said, our last episode was amazing, and then he got taken out of starting rotation and put in the bullpen, and then put back
I
in.
I'd hate to defend him, but we Spencer Turnbulled his ass where he was doing pretty well with these starts and was being consistent. Was he going deep towards the end of that run? No. He started being shaky, only making it to like the third or fourth, but he was in a rhythm, and he wasn't terrible. It really
Yeah,
pains me to compliment this man. Then you throw him in the bullpen, and then it's like, oh, he's back. Like
yeah,
that's the taco truck guy, the Walmart greeter, out there throwing an inning. Um, I do feel bad for him in that sense, but at the same fucking like, okay, he struggled in the bullpen. You pulled him back up again after an amazing outing by Mick Abel.
yep.
An amazing debut going head to head with Paul Skeens, who will probably win the Cy Young this year. And you go, nope, Mick, go back to Lehigh. Taiwan's going to start. And you immediately realize you fucked up, threw Taiwan back in the bullpen, Mick's back up again. Like that to me, what the hell was the logic there?
And that's exactly what I said when it comes to Topper with his managerial decisions. And could that be Dombrowski basically forcing his hand? Probably. And
The
that's
only thing,
another topic that Dombrowski sucks. So,
the only thing I think is they're trying to protect Mick as a trade piece.
yeah.
Because everybody Painter is the end of the tunnel and the light at the end of the tunnel that we're going for, ramping him up. Because
And
eventually you're going to run into that problem.
it's seeming like Painter's getting blasted every other start too, though.
Yeah, he's not finding his footing, which oddly enough, that's what happened to Mick last year when he
Yeah.
came up to Lehigh. He was having the damnedest time finding his footing. Now he has it. Noel's going to come back, and he's going to make this fucking awkward decision of like, who's going down. If you ask me, you're trading Ranger. Yeah, Ranger had a hot start last time he was out. Hopefully, he has a couple more hot starts, and you just unload his ass because he's not coming back since he chose Scott Boras' agent.
It doesn't seem like he's coming back at all, no matter what.
I don't think he's coming back. I really doubt Schwarber's coming back. And honestly, unless we get JT at a discount, I don't see him coming back either. Like I think this is
I
the
feel like
end.
there's going to be a lot of changes, especially like what you just said, and then you got to throw in Luzardo too.
Yeah. Well,
He's-
I think we have one more year with him, don't we?
I don't think so.
I thought we had at least till 2027 with him. I might be wrong, but like you're in this pick. This is the team. They need to do it this year, which is weird to say because it just feels like yesterday we were talking about. Oh my God, we just signed all these guys. Let's go get it, and we're already coming to an end.
Yeah.
the report that came out about let's talk about Schwarber's contract extension. Apparently, they offered him a number. Wasn't embarrassing, but allegedly it's not going to get the job done, which makes sense because he's been on fire. I hate complimenting the man, but hitting what like if you need a DH, he's your guy. Like if you're going to go all out on a DH money wise, he's probably going to be the hottest DH on the market. If you need a DH that can field for you occasionally, he's not going to.
He's gonna tear a hammy.
Yeah, you have every time they put him in left field, I panic. It's like really.
What did they say the number was?
They didn't give a number, but the report was it wasn't embarrassing, but it wasn't going to get the job done. So it sounds like he wants more than what he's making now, which I would not do, given that he has no defensive value whatsoever. Like, to me, the flexibility of the DH is to have he can at least play one position where if something goes catastrophic, you could put him there. Like, well, the Bryce situation. How nice would it have been if you had a DH, we'll say Reese, not that he's a DH, like, per se. I think he's still technically a first baseman, right?
Yeah.
But you sign him as a DH, but you know he can play first. Whereas, like, you have Kyle, and it's like, I don't really want to put him out in left field.
Yeah. 100%. And what was his first contract? Was it
20?
4 years, $100 million, or was it 5 years, $100 million?
I think he was four. He's 400. Casty was 500.
Okay.
Because Casty will be back next year, unless they piss him off and he leaves. Like, they trade his ass. Like, he goes, all right, trade me. Fuck this shit. You don't bench a guy who starts 263 times for you.
And Schwarber is what? Is he 30 yet?
I'm pretty sure he is. I think he's like 32. I might have just pulled that number out of my ass.
You're going to give him more than $25 million a year?
Hey, he is 32. Go me. Well, like, I don't. Maybe it was a year's thing. Maybe he's looking that, like, hey, this next contract I'm signing, I'm done. Like that, I'm going to finish my career with the team I go to, because we have more news to talk about contracts after him. I could see him, like, McCutcheon's what, 36, 37?
Yeah.
And he's doing a year-by-year basis, which, fantastic. And the Pirates love, like, I think the Pirates, he's doing like a Pirates-friendly deal, and the Pirates love him, so it's like, you can't go wrong with McCutcheon. Like, we're not going to the World Series, but we could at least make sales with McCutcheon there. Whereas he's looking at it like, let me lock in 5 to 7 years, my guess, and just carry him into, like, at least maybe his 40s.
Which is insane to me, because it's like the Pirates situation, you have probably the best pitching staff in all of baseball. And
you have the Cy Young.
Best pitcher in baseball. And he literally throws one hitter and 1 runs like every other start, and he loses all of them.
The McAble debut. Like, that is just unfortunate for Skeens. Imagine if Nola was still in that position. He would have gotten the win based on how Nola was doing. He get McAble, who had a hell of a debut, and it's all on the line for Mick to make a name for himself at that point. He's gonna do really well, and your team couldn't muster up more than 1 run off of a AAA pitcher.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
But I do think Schwarber will be leaving. Like I said, hopefully we get rid of Ranger. So I guess what we could talk about next is, because we're coming up on the trade deadline. It's the end of July. So big move was already made by Boston and San Francisco, where Devers was sent out there for 3 or 4 pieces, adding to the lopsided Boston trades that have happened in this millennia.
Which is also insane to me, because the dude Devers said that he wasn't going to play any other position for Boston. And then he goes out to San Fran and he said, whatever they need, I'll play wherever position that they want, and I'm here to win games, and that's not my control. It's all up to management to tell me where to play.
That's just somebody butthurt about Bregman getting signed.
Right? Like, you just you just left Boston because of you like not working with management and doing anything to help them out. Like nothing.
And
And then
they're a
you go
contender,
and then the first freaking thing out of your mouth is whatever they want, I'll do.
which is crazy because they were. It's not like they were bottom of the barrel team in the American League. They were
No.
doing well, and it's like, nah, fuck you.
Yeah. It's absolutely insane to me.
Go over the Giants. Like, nah, we're winning the World Series, just so I can tell Boston to suck it.
Yeah. 100%.
But if you think about it, we've mentioned Rangers on his last year, Schwarber's on his last year. Need fucking bullpen. Um, we got a plethora of starters. I mean, let's just go on the assumption that when Nola ever heals, he comes back and he's Aaron Nola, which we probably won't see him till fucking August at this point.
Good Aaron Nola or Aaron Nola as in Rav4 giving up 6 home runs?
Oh, the RAV4 inning will still happen, but instead of 6 home runs, hopefully just 1. Like he contains it back to like the he's gonna make this difficult, but not like unbearable. So let's just assume he comes back and he gets back to Nola form, even if it's like mediocre Nola form. You've got the Ranger piece, which I really feel like, as much as I like him, he's got to go because I feel like out of all the free agents we have this year, he is least likely to return unless all the other teams go, nah. And we just go, hey, this could be your year you rebuild. Here's 1-year contract. Go Jeff Hoffman us later.
Yeah, it feels like the writing's on the wall with Ranger.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because of that Boris signing, but it just feels like just everyone is basically like, here's your bus ticket, you're gone. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, he seems like the most logical trade piece, especially since we have such a depth in starting position, like starting pitchers. You got Wheeler, Sanchez, Jesus, Abel, Painter in the wings, technically Taiwan.
I gotta see.
I honestly wouldn't hate the fact if we traded Ranger, got a center fielder, and maybe a 5th starter for him. Like, even if you didn't want to bank on Painter being ready or bank on Taiwan coming out of the bullpen. But do you think we're buyers or sellers?
I think we're buyers, and I think it's because this is the last. I think this could be the last hurrah,
Mm-hmm.
and that's because of Schwarber and Casty being in the final year.
And JT.
But, yeah.
Like, I know JT's not lighting the world on offensively, but he still calls one of the best games of baseball. Like, you can tell when he's not calling a game, that's most of our losses. Nothing against Marchand, but like, I don't think Marchand has many wins under his fucking belt as a catcher.
Yeah.
And
that's kind of been the rough part is, what was it, Nola that was constantly with Marchand?
Mm-hmm.
It just felt like he wasn't doing him any favors at all.
Yep. And the crazy, like, he even had like Sanchez and I think even had Abel for a game, and it just felt like you should at least know these two because you've called games in Lehigh Valley with Abel last year. I don't. So who do you think is going to be? Is anybody in the majors going to be up as a piece? Like, is anybody? Well, I don't want to say nobody's safe, but Bohm, of course, is a topic of trade every time a trade comes up. Casty, with this incident and only a year left, is he appealing to get rid of? I don't know. Do you think any of the guys in the majors are going to be traded, or do you think it's going to be all prospects and minor league guys?
You could be right with getting rid of Ranger because of what they see in McAble. They may keep him over Ranger, and they could also hopefully. I was looking that up. I totally forgot. Hopefully keep Luzardo.
Well, like, so here's the thing, because Mick is obviously a good trade piece too, because like you're going to have control over him, but the return on him should be a lot higher than, let's say, a Ranger who's technically a rental.
So he'll be He'll be in arbitration next year.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay,
And then
so
he's an unrestricted free agent in 2027.
okay, so I think we have a good top four, and if Mick's your fifth, hell, let's go. Like we don't need Ranger, especially like again. I like Ranger Suarez. I would really hope he would be part of our rotation for a couple of years, but I think realistically we're not going to be the team to sign him in the offseason.
Well, I think also what you look at Ranger as, I think he's better as a bullpen piece.
Mm.
He could be your closer, or he could be your long relief. One of the two. Like, I think that's where his perfect spot is, because he can't throw like an Alvarado, who is also gone after this year, more than likely. I know he signed like a 2-year contract, but
Mm-hmm.
I highly doubt they bring him back with the
issues.
steroids, everything, all that. But like I think that's what they look at Ranger more as a bullpen arm, and I think Ranger sees himself as a starter, obviously, because he can make more money that way.
No, you're absolutely right, and he could be the ace on a team like the Athletics or something like that, like a team that doesn't have a good starting rotation. He could be someone's number one, where as right now he's probably our number 4,
Yeah,
maybe number 3. I didn't see how Jesus pitched tonight. I don't know if he got back to form.
he looked all right. The first 2 innings or so were rough,
Mm-hmm.
but he looked good.
So, like, if you think of our 1, 2, 3 right now is Wheeler, Sanchez, Jesus, because Nola's on the burner.
But
Ranger's your 4th.
they were saying about Jesus tonight. I saw more statuses being shared and stuff like that, but people were wondering if he was tipping pitches again, because I guess the last start he had a major issue of tipping pitches.
Yeah, those 2 really bad starts he had. They were saying he was tipping, where he gave up 6 runs in each game.
Yeah.
And then he found a new form with the fastball when he came back for that 3rd start. It looked like he did at the beginning of the season. I didn't see today's game, but let's just assume we'll say he's our 4th. Then Rangers are 3rd. I think you can interchange those 2 right now, because Rangers, to me, has only had 1 really good start and a couple rough starts. And then mix your 5th. Nola comes back. Nola is presumably your number 2. Even if he doesn't get back to number 2 form, he's still a hell of a 3rd or 4th. So yeah, and then you got Painter, who
Painter's
is
going
the
to jump to
future.
number 2.
Yeah, who's your future,
Yeah.
and will be the transition guy, because Wheeler did announce that after his contract expires, he's done. So I mean, that's the transition guy to be our new ace down the road, with a vet like Nola kind of teaching him the ropes of like, hey, look out for revs; they will fuck you up.
It's got to be amazing to be able to say that you're retiring at 37. Like, it's got to be awesome just to know that you have that in the back pocket. That I made over $100+ million
in 3 years.
Yeah, playing baseball, and I'm done. Like, I'm just
And he doesn't strike me as a guy that's going to come back as a commentator. I feel like he's going to go the Cliff Lee route, and we'll have to put him on a milk carton, figure out where the hell he went.
You'll never see him. You'll never hear from him again. He may come back, like if they win the World Series this year, like in 10 years. But even then, I don't know.
He's going to be in a milk carton. There'll be the Wall of Fame in Philadelphia, and then a refrigerator next to it with cartons of milk of Cliff Lee and Zach Wheeler. Where are they now? And Bat Boy Ruben Amaro Jr. Has anybody seen him?
That could be Aaron Nola too.
Hopefully. I hate Nola. I can't stand him. But assuming Rangers, the trade piece, one of the trade pieces, do you think JT's on the chopping block? Do you think?
No, because there's we've talked about before. There's nothing out there,
Mm-hmm.
and if your plan is to run out there with Marshawn or even bring up Garrett Stubbs and he's your start, like, come on, dude. There's nothing out there But speaking of that, air subs should be up here. I was wrong. I'll admit it.
The
Marchand has
vibes.
been garbage.
The
Um,
vibes.
yeah, Stubbs should be up here 100%. But like, there's nothing out there. But then again, you could get really lucky, like what Seattle did with Cal Raleigh. So the dude's on some unstoppable Johnny Bench fucking tear. So you could find a diamond in the rough like they did with him. So I don't know, but there's literally nothing out there. I don't know where that diamond would be in this big old turd of catchers, but it ain't gonna. JT's that diamond, and you got to figure out how to keep him, even if he's old as shit and can't walk anymore.
Roll him out there in a chair, play catcher. Don't
Yeah,
throw
I
any
mean,
wild pitches. He ain't getting it.
you got the one guy in our minors that's Eduardo Tate, and he's probably 4 years away. So you have to somehow keep JT going for another 2 years at minimum. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's tough. And if, hey, you could potentially Baltimore selling off everyone. Maybe go get Adley Rushman, and then you can get rid of JT and be done with that because they have another number one insane catcher right behind Adley. So maybe they'll get rid of him. But that's a major if.
There you go. So I mean, at the trade deadline, we clearly need to bolster our bullpen.
Yeah, bullpen's number one. You have to because you have like you can't keep on bringing out Tanner Banks and Tanner Scott or any of the Tanners. Like I don't even know if that's their names because I fucking hate them. Every time I see them, I'm just like, well, game's over. And thank God Carlos Hernandez is gone. So happy he's gone.
still
He can ruin things in Detroit.
still dealing with Romano. I
But
can't
yeah,
stand him. I
he.
can't stand Ross.
I don't know. You have no idea what you're going to get from Romano. You don't know if he's going to be a shutout closer, which he has shown to be, or he's going to be Taiwan Walker on the
Mm-hmm.
mound. You have no clue what side of the barrel you're going to get, and it's rough with him.
I swear to God, every time I see him, it's the bad one. I
Yeah,
know he has had decent outings. I have not seen them. I know they exist. I'm admitting they exist, but I'm just saying from experience, everything I've seen, he's the shits, the drizzling shits, like the stuff that like runs down your leg, and everybody knows that it sucks. And then it's like it was like a 1, 2, 3 punch of Ross, uh, Hernandez, and him, and it's like, fuck.
yep. And even Strom hasn't really been great this year. Like he's been
No.
good, but he hasn't been great. Like he can't. Like there's nobody that's dependable in that bullpen.
Nope.
You had Alvarado for a good stretch, and then that was probably because he was on steroids.
Yeah, and I mean you got Kirkering's kind of hit or miss. I know he's had a couple. Like so he's the opposite. I've seen all his good outings, but I know he's had bad outings.
Yeah,
Strom, I've
but
seen the mix of both.
I think Kirkering has been on a tear lately,
Mm-hmm.
if I remember correctly, or they probably jinxed that because they said he hasn't given up a run in 19 outings, and then all of a sudden they give up a run that game.
Yeah. Well, last night was his first save, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
So it's bad when the rookie is your dependable arm in
He's
that
not rookie
bullpen.
anymore.
Well, I mean, like the low man on the totem pole
Yeah,
is your fucking saving grace when you went
it's
out and
good.
signed people who were supposed to be proven and are proven and are costing us games.
There's nobody. It's crazy. There's nobody in that bullpen.
Yep, which then adds stress to the starters because now the starters feel like they need to get to 6, 7 innings. And I feel like that's what's cost us games too is the Topper special where he leaves them in just 1 inning too, like just 1 or 2 batters too long.
Well, that's what happened today because he taxed the bullpen because that bullpen game, which was like 2 or 3 games ago.
Hmm.
So your bullpen was exhausted, and you had to force Jesus to go the extra inning, even though you could tell that he was kind of gassed, or at least he was getting hit. Whatever the two you want to say,
Hmm.
uh, one of those options, and you couldn't do anything about it because of going with that stupid bullpen game.
Yeah. So the bullpen needs to be bolstered. It's going to suck because I feel like everybody knows it. So the asking prices are going to be high.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And it's like it's a bullpen arm that's not worth that much. And I really hope we don't have a off season like we had last year, or a trade deadline like we had last year, where we
No,
got Hayes and Estevez. Neither are on the team still. Estevez I liked as a pickup, assuming we were going to keep him, and we didn't.
everyone assumed we we're going to keep him. Like, I think the only person that didn't think he was going to be kept was Dombrowski. He's like, yeah, we're not keeping him, no
Yeah,
matter what.
like we don't have any of our guys that we've picked up at trade lines anymore, right? Sosa, that's about it.
Marsh.
Marshy's still here, but Clemens is gone. Fucking
Was Marsh a deadline or was he?
no, he came over. I don't know if we won in that deal. Wasn't he with Moniak the trade
And
or
Ohapi.
Ohapi? Again, I don't know if we won in that trade because isn't Ohapi
Yeah,
like would have been answered our fucking catcher problems. Um,
pretty much.
but yeah, I guess we have Marsh and Sosa are the only two pieces that Dombrowski's made at the trade deadline that we've kept
Well, I think we got Alvarado.
under Dombrowski.
I don't know.
Because I can tell you, Soto, I mean, unless we're going to count big wins when he fucking tanked the Orioles by sending down all our shit. It's like, hey, we're going to reroute the plumbing to Baltimore and send Soto and Sir Anthony down there. I just, I don't feel like he has not been great at the trade deadline. And to be honest, his free agency moves were the ones that were big were expected. Trey Turner, extending JT in 2020. Would that have been Dombrowski?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe the shocker was getting both Castellanos and Schwarber. I mean, that might have been his big pull. But
yeah, no one expected that at all.
everything else was kind of anticipated, and he may have overpaid for Wheeler, to be honest. I feel like Wheeler would have stayed probably for a lower price.
I don't know about that.
$42 million for 3 years? That's crazy.
Did you see his wife?
No, I get that he keeps impregnating her and he needs the money, but the only other team that would have paid for that would have been the Yankees, and they went after and got and maybe the Dodgers, but they went and got not better pitchers. I'm not gonna say better pitchers, but they went and got like better deals.
Yeah.
Again, I wouldn't say better pitchers, but like the Athletics were gonna pay that for him. The fucking nobody in the National League East would have maybe the Mets.
Every time the Dodgers sign a pitcher, they get hurt. So it's very enjoyable with that aspect.
But I think honestly, I think he would have stayed with the organization because he likes the organization. And 42 million is just a lot for a pitcher.
Yeah.
And a pitcher in his final 3 years.
He's worth it though.
We'll talk about that hopefully in 3 years if he was or not. Because I honestly this is his first year of the 42 million, and he's not playing to the caliber of what got him the 42 million. I guess this is his freshman slump that he's allowed to have.
Keeping him busy.
But it's just, you brought it up earlier, Dombrowski. Is he too worried about what the fuck's going on? It may or may not be happening in Nashville to get this company an actual World Series ring. Like, is his hat gonna be we won the National League?
Yeah. Thanks so much for that. But
You teased us.
Like, everything that you heard about him, that he decimates teams with the minor leagues, and he'll build your minor leagues up. He knows how to draft, and then he'll just trade everyone away. He has yet to do that. The
Is
minor
that
league
the shirt?
players that we've gotten rid of, like we got rid of George Klassen to go to the Angels, and um, the other shortstop who apparently is on fire for wherever the hell he went. I don't know if it was the Angels
Uh,
or Chicago.
uh, the only Asian we had,
I think so. Yeah,
Hung Sung
but
Lee or something like that.
something. Yeah, and he's been like he went to the majors pretty damn fast.
Yep.
So like that was probably the only person that like the only two or three minor league players that he's traded, and one of them basically was good.
I don't
Like
know if
it
the
didn't seem
Ohapi
like him.
return was worth it.
Huh?
I don't know if the Logan Ohapi return was worth it. I like Marsh. I don't hate Marsh. I think he's a good third outfielder if you have two other strong outfielders. I also think he gets screwed by Topper's analytics of like, you're never going to get a consistent run of like a month.
Yeah. And I Ohapi, he's a good catcher, but I wouldn't say great. But he would definitely be in the conversation of not keeping Real Muto, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So if he was still around, I don't think Real Muto would have been here at all.
That's a good point. Um, I don't know. Do you think you just said a few minutes ago that Dombrowski is known for blowing up the minors? Is this the year? Because we have said it a couple times on this episode. This feels like a make or you win it now or it's done.
I think it has to be. It has for him. It has to be, and it's because, like you said, like he's been very focused on that Nashville shit. Um, this is kind of like you were supposed to come to the Phillies in order to bring us a World Series. You got us to the World Series, and then all of a sudden we've gotten worse every single year after that. Like you haven't done anything since. What are you doing for us? And the answers are we're getting you Hayes, we got rid of Soto, we brought in Soto, we got rid of him. Like we're bringing in these middle of the road people, and then we're shipping them back out. Like you're not doing much. So this has to be the year that he basically goes balls to the wall. And if that's it, all right, me and Topper are gone. If it succeeds, then all right, me and Topper are back. Like it's one way
To
or
the
the other.
Wall of Fame.
Yeah, it's one way or the other, and this trade deadline could be massive for both parties.
Yeah, especially since you haven't made like. I have to keep reminding myself that the 2025 offseason, the big move was Wheeler. Like if we had to take Wheeler into free agency,
Yeah,
um, it would have been rough. I still don't think any pitcher's worth 42 million. Just because like pitchers are just so fragile. They're not
yeah,
built. Um, the Wheeler, you know what? I'll take that. But Wheeler is because Wheeler doesn't try to throw 100 fucking miles per hour every pitch, and that's what gives him the longevity because he's going with skill rather than force.
yeah,
Um, but the the offseason felt kind of lackluster. Max Kepler being your big signing. Maybe the Jesus Luzardo trade was pretty big.
yeah,
Um, but again, Wheeler was the big move. But you did it at the beginning of the 2024 season that it just falls off of everybody's mind that it happened because you're just like, oh, he was already here.
yeah.
Um,
I remember the Kepler trade, and everyone's like, "What?" Or signing? What the fuck is that?
yeah,
There's so many other people out there, and that's who
everybody
you get.
kept throwing up the stats that he basically was Hayes.
Yeah,
Um, and I think we won in that deal because I think Kepler's heating up now, and that's probably led into the Casty benching scenario tonight of just like keep Kepler in there, but I got to give Rojas some more time, type thing. Um, his mid-season trades haven't been great.
no.
Um,
And you really hope that this is the year that you're like, Oh, holy shit! That's why we brought in Dombrowski.
Yeah,
This is the reason.
but on the flip side, like if you look at 2022, that's probably his best uh, trade deadline moves because he brought in Marsh, he brought in Noah Syndergaard, and he brought in Sosa. I think that year. So he got
Yeah,
a good center field. I think a consistent center fielder, a good utility guy in the infield, and Noah was pretty good up until the end because everybody loves a little Thor. Um, but also, if you look at 2022, 2023, and even last year, we didn't have to make a big splash in the pool because at least, especially last year, going into the All Star break, we didn't need anything. You had Ranger, who was Cy Young. You had two guys starting pitcher wise that were battling for Cy Young. I mean,
but
granted, it all fell apart after the trade deadline.
you say that, but it was, the 2023 year was the year that the D-backs beat us out, and what you wanted is you wanted everyone outside the organization was saying you need, I don't know if it was a right-handed bat or left-handed bat, whatever it was, that was Tommy Pham. And Tommy Pham was being traded, and you chose not to go after him. And the D-backs went after him, and he was just lights out for the organization. So it's very tough to have faith in Dombrowski when he's kind of like putting, I don't know, too much faith in the players that he has instead of going that full bore attitude. And they I don't know if maybe it came out that they allegedly tried to go after Tommy Pham that time or not, but like every time that there was that big person that went to the other team, they're the ones that made it further than us to go to the NLCS or even the World Series.
No, I think you make a good point. I think the point that I was trying to make, and again, I'm not defending him because I do think he relied of I built this team, and on paper, this team wins a World Series. Like it has felt like that since he signed Kyle, Casty, Trey. Like he put his pieces on the table and went, "I'm winning a World Series with this." But in his defense, I would say 2023 and 2024 isn't like it is this year. Like heading into the All-Star break in the trade deadline, those 2 years, I don't think there wasn't an urgency. The team was doing pretty well. 2023, you're running the high of like, hey, we got to the World Series, we're heading back. 24, we were leading the division. We had the two guys fighting each other for the Cy Young. Like we looked like a really good spot in 2024. And then now, but this year, you can't say the same. Like you're looking at it on paper, going, they're aging. You've got half of those pieces you said you're going to win a World Series with leaving after this year. Your franchise player is injured. Your franchise pitcher is injured because as love him or hate him, Nola is the franchise pitcher. He's been here since he was born. Like you're in a position this year of like you have to do something, and I'm hoping that's when we get to see that Dombrowski trade deadline magic. Whereas like he didn't necessarily have to play those cards. He got away with not playing those cards and still got him into the playoffs. You can't at the end of July. You can't see what's going to happen at the end of September because I mean the bats went quiet, and that last year was the bats' fault. The year before that, it was pitching went dead. Like it's never been the same problem twice. And it's very hard to say, all right, in 2 months, I got to prepare for this problem. You prepare for it, and then the other thing goes wrong. But heading into this trade deadline, I think the point is, everything's fucked. You got to find something. Is it bringing Garrett Stubbs back up with his Bluetooth to get this fucking team going? Is it telling Ranger to frost his fucking tips like he used to? Do we have to play fucking Dancing on My Own?
Yeah, something. You gotta find that energy again, and the energy is not benching one of your best players to bring it all back around.
this season hasn't felt fun. I know we had our stresses last year and the year before and stuff like that, but you had the fun factor. And everyone's like, no, we got to take it more seriously. Well, you're taking it seriously, and this team's kind of ass right now. They're not.
Yeah.
They're not the worst team on the market, but they're not giving you the warm butterfly feeling heading into like you're gonna get fucking steamrolled by the Dodgers or the Mets or
Like
even the Cubs.
if I went over and I asked anybody, I would like just if I'm in Philly right now and I ask what you think about the team, everyone's gonna say meh. Like it's not. There's no energy. There's no nothing behind it. Even going to the ballpark, like the seats are not half empty because they'll never be that. But it's like when we're in a run in 2022, everyone was on, or 2023 because it was after the World Series. Everyone was on their feet the majority of the game. Like
Mm-hmm.
you couldn't see if you're sitting down. Like you go to the stadium now, it's like everyone's basically having business meetings.
Yeah, there's something off about this season, and they're not like I said, they're not a bad team. They have the
No,
pieces. They're being plagued by some injury bugs right now, with Harper being down, Nola being down, uh, Jesus tipping pitches, the fucking bullpen just not playing out like it should have.
no,
Um,
yeah.
it's fixable stuff, and it'll be very disappointing if the fixable stuff isn't fixed. Um, because you're calling it. You were able to call this shit. It's June 18th when this is airing. You were able to call this stuff a month ago in May.
Yeah.
Of like, yeah, Jose went down with the steroid thing. The pieces you picked up for the bullpen weren't what you thought they would be, and your bats, with the exception of Schwarber and Trey, relatively quiet. I mean, they've heated up since then. If you look at their stats from May 1st to now, they're doing well. But heading into May, mid May, you weren't feeling confident, and those
Oh,
numbers are still showing that hurt we had at the beginning of the year. Like I still think it's going to bite us in the ass getting swept by the Mets.
like it seems to me that there's just no urgency.
Mm,
And I'm not saying that on June 17th, like you should be like, oh shit, I lost the World Series today. Like that was my mentality every single game. So I understand where people are coming from when they go to that. But for your manager or your GM, or whatever the hell you want to call Dombrowski, to just keep running it back year after year, that's where the problems that I have.
yeah,
Because, in 2022, we got no hit in the World Series. In 2023, our bats basically went dead against the Diamondbacks as well. And so, like every year, it's been, like you said, it's been something, but it's been different things. But this year, you knew what you needed going into the off season. You knew exactly what you needed to do, and you didn't fix it. And now you're at the trade deadline, and you already have teams that are trading.
yeah,
The Angels already have traded too. Like they've got a couple players. Baltimore's traded players. Um, the Boston Red Sox, obviously, you said Devers is gone. Like all these teams are starting to trade, and you're still not even a part of any conversations.
yeah. Again. I'm going to go, and this isn't a Stubbs reference. The vibe isn't the same. Like I do think they're a good team. I do think they get to the playoffs. I'm hoping it's the 2022 feeling of like we don't expect them to go far and then they run the distance. Um, I don't know. I do, and everybody knows I'm a big Casty fan and they listen to this show back with the back and forth that Tyler and I've had. But just something feels off that like you benched him. So clearly there's something going on in that clubhouse where this team is not the team of 2022, 2023. Just something's weird. Like it just I can't put my finger on it.
And
Uh,
who's your leader?
I, yeah, is
Like
it the
who's
guy
your
that
leader
you?
if you're benching Casty? Like who's your leader if he did say something about Rojas, or if he did say your mom's too fat and eats too much spaghetti? Like who who's the leader that is checking that? Because it can't be your manager, and if he's the one that's checking it, then you have a whole issue, a whole nother issue on top of the already issues that you already have.
Yeah. Is it going to be the guy that you can't get an extension done with? Everybody calls Schwarber a team leader, but right now you look at him like you've got 3 months left.
Yeah.
Maybe 4 if we go the distance, and then you're definitely not coming back because you took us the distance, and we're seemingly cheaping out for whatever reason. I don't know. It's hard to pinpoint it. We know that we could sit here and talk another hour about all their problems they're having in the bullpen, the starters being inconsistent, the bats being inconsistent. It comes down to the front office of basically like, hey, they don't feel serious. I know they're serious. Like, you can't look at a team like the Phillies and not think they're serious, but it feels like they're not serious.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like, I'm not trying to be completely negative in the middle of June when we have all the way to September to run, but maybe it's because Bryce has not been Bryce. I don't know. There's something off.
When your team, I forget what the record is. I'm trying to
They're
find it.
42 and 30.
43 and 30. So you're one of the best teams in all of the majors, and like we just spent over an hour basically shitting on them just because of how great the team can be, and your owner and general manager aren't. God, man, like I feel so bad as saying that they're not fully on board because you're giving a shitload of money to these players, so they're fully on board. But
if you think about it, we had these conversations last year too. They were like the number one team in baseball, but the writing on the wall was like there's something. There's like an oomph. There's not that like if you're a Dodgers fan, as much as I fucking hate the Dodgers right now because they're like they're the NL Yankees. You should feel confident. Like Freddie, if you look at their All-Star ballot, it's all of them leading every single position. That's how we were last year.
And now we don't even have one player.
Yeah, and we could sit here and debate that. Yeah, they're like I feel. It depends what you're going for. If you look at the shortstop position, yeah, I wouldn't send Trey to the All-Star game. He's defensively awful. But batting-wise, he's probably the best shortstop.
Yeah.
And the same with, like, if you go to catcher. I wouldn't send JT for his offensive numbers, but I sure shit would want him to call the game for the National League. And the same with the designated hitter. I think it's a little unfair that Ohtani gets that position just because, like, fuck you, man. Like, that position, the DH thing is bullshit. I don't know. Like, if you're a Dodgers fan, a true Dodgers fan, you're probably not talking like us. Then again, they might be because they had a lot of starting pitching injuries. I don't think Shohei had the greatest outing last night for his first turn back. I know he was throwing velocity, but I think he gave up a run and only pitched an inning. So, like, his ERA is 9.
Yeah, I meant to look at that to see what happened.
Yeah, he only won an inning, and he gave up, I think, maybe 3 hits and a run. Like, it wasn't a good inning.
Yeah, 1 inning, 2 hits, 1 run, 1 earned, 9 ERA.
Yeah, so put that against him for the fucking MVP. Like, all right, now you're actually doing your dual fucking role, and you suck at pitching. Again, he clearly was going for velocity over skill. I don't know.
I was surprised because I thought I would have seen like a bunch more articles saying Shohei pitched an amazing game.
I didn't. I don't know if it's part of their strategy, but 1 inning. Like, I didn't watch it, but like anybody else goes in for 1 inning, it's not a good sign. Like, I don't know. To be a Dodgers fan or to be, I would even say a Mets fan right now, you should feel somewhat comfortable. Like the Mets will Met because we're looking at it from an outside perspective. But if you're sitting there as a Mets fan, you're probably feeling confident right now, especially the way we're talking about the Phillies.
Yeah, and considering what a month ago, you were kind of saying that the Mets were not fully out of the race, but they weren't looking good. Like Juan Soto looks fat, like all this stuff. Like you're railing on the Mets pretty good, and now they're in first place and
Yeah,
they've been playing better baseball.
it was like a 10-game swap. We were
Yeah,
5 ahead of them, and then all of a sudden they became 5 ahead of us. So like
yeah.
I know we had a bad stretch, but if you if you're the Mets right now, you're feeling like we felt when we got the 5-game stretch. Like it's this division is still one of the harder divisions in the National League. Um, I don't know. I just feel like the other teams seem to have it right now, and we don't have the it that we've had. And I
I'll
feel
stay
like,
in second place. Like
huh?
I won't. I'll stay in second place. I won't. I won't beg for the
Oh, I don't
bye
want the
again.
bye.
Yeah,
That bye is cursed
yeah,
for the National League East.
yep.
Um,
100%.
the I don't know. I think that we had the it factor the last 3 years, and that's really what kind of like made me feel a little bit confident about going into the playoffs. Like, yeah, we can do this. This year, it's like, yeah, we're going to make it to the playoffs, but I'm fully expecting to be disappointed.
I think if we get to the playoffs this year, I don't expect to be disappointed. It's
I'm
weird.
proud of
Like
you.
yeah, like I just think because of how this year has been with this such up and down, nonstop roller coaster ride that it's been, I that
I
downward spiral is coming, and if it comes in the playoffs, then it's what happened the whole entire year. And if it goes up in the playoffs, then okay. Like it
I
also depends on how far we get. Like if it's the first round and we get eliminated first round again, then I'll be extremely pissed off. But it's like if you got to NLDS and it was like the best of was it best of 5 for the NLDS? Like
yep.
so you
It's still a
if you
fresh wound.
lose in the fifth game and it's by one run and just because of I was gonna say Alvarado, but he's fucking steroids and not allowed to play. But like if
Romano,
it's huh?
gee, fucking little Dicky goes out there and fucking blows it like he normally does.
Yeah, like I'd be pissed, but I'd be like, hey, it's a better season this year than it was last year, so we may be moving in the right direction depending on what we do at the trade deadline.
I
So
think Tyler made a comment in one of our private chat that we have before the show. If this is the worst of it, good. Get it out of your system now, and you just kind of alluded to it. Like if this is the down, get the down out of your system. Come, Bryce gets healthy, Nola gets healthy, Cassie gets his attitude changed. Maybe they extend JT or Schwarber during the All Star break. Come back refreshed and fucking pedal to the metal. Then yeah, let's do it.
yeah,
I think if you were to ask me June 18th, how do I feel about it? I feel like we're gonna get to the playoffs, but like if we're eliminated in the wild card or the NLDS, yeah, right now this looks like a team that's gonna get gassed.
yep,
I'm
100%.
hoping it's the opposite. I'm trying to be positive. I want it to be the opposite. I do think they have the capability to make it the opposite. I do think this can kind of run parallel to what the 2022 season was. They're not as bad of a start as they had then, but I don't know. Uh, we got a week until our next show. Do you think anything happens between June 18th on this drop and then whatever the fuck next Wednesday is?
No,
No, nothing big. No trades. No.
there's nothing big and there's nothing small. The only thing that could potentially happen is Bryce coming back, and what happens to Bryce? Does he go to right field and Casty goes to left field and Otto Kemp stays at first base? That is the only thing that could potentially happen from now until next week.
I say fucking try it. What do you got to lose at this point? Even if you keep Nick in right and put Harper in left, like if you make the case that his arm isn't as it used to be, I still think Harper in left is more beneficial than Harper at first. Not that he's a bad first baseman. You just get more flexibility if he can go play outfield position.
Yeah,
I'm not
100%.
asking him to gun down anyone.
Yeah, you'd probably have one of the worst arms in all of baseball with your outfield with Castellanos, Rojas, and / Marsh, and Harper, surgically repaired Harper. Like, you'd probably have the worst outfield throwing wise, but like you said, the flexibility, the hopefully Harper turns to form, and he's able to hit home runs again, or at least hit again.
Like, don't be a lazy bitch. I get it. If our softball league, I started in the outfield. I moved to first. It was very nice not having to run. Now I'm playing catcher. I do even less running. Like, there was that little jog when you're standing a little off of first and had to run to first.
Catcher's great back there, isn't it?
Yeah, catchers. I talk to the up. I pick up the bat and hand it to the other team. Like, hey, here you go. I'm a nice guy. Like, I get it, but I'm allowed to do that. It's beer league softball. You're Bryce fucking Harper. Get back in the outfield. If Kyle Schwarber can run in left field, you can fucking run in left field. Do the bare minimum. Not asking you to cover Rojas or Marsh in center. Just, go out there, wave to the fans.
Yep.
Maybe take the longest sprint you have to do is to get back to the fucking dugout. Like, I don't know. If your dugout's a problem, go play right. Like, if your whole concern is about running, you go play right field. Come on. Like, I really feel like it really feels like he basically made a decision that I don't want to run anymore. I'm going to walk out to first because it's the shortest distance of any player. I'm going to make the pitcher run to first and underhand him the ball. And I'm not going to run it out to first when I hit. Like, it's an easy single or nothing. Like, it really feels like he made that conscious decision after he came back from the surgery of, like, I played DH, man. This shit's great.
Yeah. 100%.
I've put in my time. I don't have to. I'm the fucking vet.
Yep.
I'll play where I want. But I think we're a better team we're a fantastic team if him and Turner go the fuck out there, and even Edmundo at second, and Stott at shortstop.
Yeah, for sure. Defensively, it would be amazing.
Like, you want to protect Harper in left field. Don't leave Turner at shortstop. That'll end that friendship real fucking fast when Turner just lets things go flying by him. That'd be funny. I would pay to see that. It's just the first fucking ground ball that Turner misses and Harper has to run up and get. Just the F-bombs of, what the fuck? Anyway, that's good.
That's all he is. He's like fucking, what is it, Matador? Just nonstop going past.
Yep. Anyway, that's going to do it for us this week on the show. Tyler's on assignment. He'll let you know what that assignment is when he gets back. Maybe he's back next week. We'll find out. We're back on a consistent basis. I have no more Austin bullshit that I have to do. The game-a-thon's behind us. We're trucking forward. The Jersey Fanatics are back. Erik, what do you got to plug?
More positivity next week.
There should be. I don't. It's very hard, especially with us two. Like, Tyler will come in here and tell us to shut the fuck up and stop being so negative. We feed off of each other like, yeah, this shit is not as good as it could be. Yeah, and here's why.
The Philadelphia fandom comes out hard.
Yeah. Hey, we improved. There was, like, no Taiwan Walker negativity this episode. You go back and listen to the last 10.
There was like one sentence.
One sentence, and it was like, oh, there's that Walmart greeter taco truck guy. That's as tamed as we've been on Taiwan Walker in the last year. So, progress. I'm sure next week we'll both lose our shit when Bryce Harper's back at first and Otto Kemp got traded to the fucking Astros or something. So,
and he went on like a 10-game home run streak.
All of a sudden, he's just staring us down in the World Series, and it's down to the last out for the opposing team. And if he hits a grand slam, he wins it. And Otto Kemp is now a Hall of Famer.
The only thing I have to plug is that Frank is firing people.
Yes, he is. BPP is restructuring. We actually have I think we've talked about this, but we have a creative meeting coming up. So we're going to try to get creative. We actually have a ton of shit in the pipeline. Minecraft Mondays happen. I guess I'm going to roll into my plugs. Minecraft Mondays happen. Tomorrow night on our twitch.tv/Basic Protocol, you can see me play Gex It's an old school PlayStation 1 game. I'm playing
I don't
Gex
know
2.
what that is.
It's a little gecko, and the entire premise of the game is he goes into the media land.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
So I'll be playing that Thursday. Gex 2. I don't want to play the first one. The first one's a side scroller. I don't want to do that. I want to play the Gex 2 that I grew up with. We're playing that tomorrow. So we're back to streaming. And the weekly protocol. We're restructuring it. Yeah.
We're restructuring the restructuring.
Yeah, we're trying to find a happy medium of what we launched with the weekly protocol versus what the Dace Man show was. Because, like, we overcorrected one way after saying that the Dace Man show didn't do one thing. It's, it's what you do. We're still in better shape than America. Anyway, that's going to do it for us here on the Jersey Fanatics. I've been Chris the Dace Man Dace. He's been Erik Barezzo.
Bye.
Remember, base dollars, stick to the protocol. We'll be back next week. Erik Barezzo, ring that bell.
Ring a ding ding ding.